Hey, I'm Grant. Welcome back to Dead Rising Shop Till You Drop. So we're gonna go get started off here with a little joke from Otis. I actually found this interchange kind of funny. But both of these scoops are over in Wonderland Plaza, so I'm just going to be taking the shortcut over, and it's going to be super easy. It's the old lady, I think. I'm not really too concerned. Come on. There's a lag on my inputs, so anytime I miss something like that, it's just because I've hit the button, but it gets eaten. It just doesn't register. I think by far, in this game at least, Wonderland Plaza is the best looking plaza. Whereas everything else in Dead Rising is very neutral toned, this is very colorful, and the color comes out very well on the Wii, whereas the basic stuff like these bland stores to the right, those just blend together on this poor resolution. One of the things I always liked about Dead Rising 1 in particular was that it was just also weirdly normal, and I think they got away with that with Dead Rising 2, because obviously it's in Vegas, and then 3 was a little bit sillier too. I always liked that, it was just kind of normal. So I don't think I can hit her because she doesn't have health right yet. So I'm going to try and use these. These weren't as good as I was expecting, actually. I think it's supposed to be like damage over time, and that's what's kind of happening. But I guess if anything, it's a way to get ammo. That was great. Okay, so let's go just pick everything up and then grab her. I'm really low on certain types of ammo, so that's one reason I'm trying to move over to like Molotovs and all that. The main stuff I need is stuff like the machine gun pistol is amazing, especially for the cult. So I want to get as much of that as possible, whereas stuff like the shotgun or the Molotov, I really won't use them that much, so I need to make a point. So this scoop is probably super easy, actually, because normally the thing is you hold her hand, but unlike some of the other hand-holding scoops, she's slower than you. So if you actually watch your hand when you're escorting her, she'll eventually let go. So yeah, I guess she's just slow. But again, I've said this before, there's just not a lot of zombies in this plaza. And I think that's mainly have to do with the fact that they need to load them around her soccer ball, because now there's way more coming back here. It's ridiculously easy, especially with the shortcut. And if my understanding of this is correct, the shortcut is essentially mandatory to get. So the only reason you wouldn't use it is for cash. But I don't really buy a lot. The only thing I can think of is if you know exactly how to play this game very well, you might know that you want one or two very specific guns to buy early on. And so maybe you're saving up for those. But for just like kind of your day-to-day playing, I don't really have much use for cash. It'd be different if I could like buy ammo, because that would let me actually sell through all of my supplies. But the only thing I can buy are queens and Molotovs, and I don't really use those at all. So if I could say top off my machine gun ammo, and that would encourage me to be a little more liberal with it, I think cash could matter, but until then, it's like, eh. The only other exception I can guess is if you're trying to say collect all the books. But if that's the case, you're probably not having an issue with the game, or it's like your second run through. Okay. Awesome. That honestly was so easy, it was pretty much an entire waste of our time. Like, I get they want to include it just for the sake of you doing every scoop from the main game, but that was such a worthless amount of time. Okay, Otis, let's see what you got. So if I'm right, this is also in Wonderland Plaza, so it's probably another really easy one. In fact, it's even easier, I'm guessing, because he can walk normally. So, gonna take the shortcut. I don't know what triggered him to start charging me less. I think maybe it's a thing where the more you use it, the less it costs, but it just seemed weird to me, like what was the reason for that? In fact, I don't even know what the point of charging for the shortcut is at all. Like, yeah, it's important. I guess it's kind of like a tax, where if you're a higher level player, you probably use the shortcut more and more, and that way it makes the money not be so inflated, because otherwise, yeah, what else would you use your money on? And then anytime you did play, you'd probably have like $1 million, so you would just destroy. It's too bad that they didn't really make more use of the money system in these Dead Rising games. Like, in particular, I think about the vending machines in Dead Rising 2. They had a lot of good ones, like just the buying a snack option was like $200 or something, I think. And it gave you a 1-block healing item. And honestly, that was by far the most useful. Then, they also had these weird things in Dead Rising 2 where they were hacked vending machines and you could get weapons from them. But they were like $15,000 and they'd give you a handgun. And I just didn't understand the point. It was such a cool idea where, hey, put it outside of Psycho, so hey, you know, maybe if you didn't come prepared, at least you could get something. I think that'd be a nice little halfway step, so to speak, where, yeah, you don't have that best item, like, it's not gonna give you the small chainsaw, but it's still a good item. And then maybe even give player options, so it's like, yeah, it's giving you this weapon, but you're really paying for it because you weren't prepared. Whereas, like, honestly, the only thing I use cash for in Dead Rising 2 anymore is I just basically buy 4 doses of Zombrex at the very beginning. So do I have to just talk to him? Oh, okay. That's might be interesting. He might be losing health, would be my guess. If this is gonna be what I think. Yeah, he's just gonna take damage because he's sick. So that's actually a nice little way to like switch stuff up. I'm guessing it's gonna be super slight. Very slight, because he's actually kind of fast too. Just based on the fact that there was that one time I was escorting those, what was it, the Japanese tourists, and I left one of them just like, yeah, I'll let him die, and it actually took like 20 minutes for him to straight up die. So I'm guessing it might be like that where they want to make you feel like you're rushed, but realistically he's probably got a lot of health. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I picked up a small chainsaw book, and what I think it added, because it wasn't very clear, now I can do that second swipe, where I also hit to the right. It's pretty nice, especially for stuff like Joe. Mechanically, I could just do the first swing again, so really the only difference is the second one's a little faster, I believe. But out of all the books, most of the books seem to be dependent on having some item, and the small chainsaw obviously is just one of the best. And I can get it in a safe room, which, let me just say, that's amazing. I always wish that they had some kind of unlock system in Dead Rising 1. Something along the lines of, okay, hey, if you go get a bunch, like 1,000 kills with this really small, unused weapon, you can unlock it for the safe house. Stuff like the stun gun. Like, getting 1,000 kills with a stun gun would suck. But if I could get it from the safe house, one, I would probably do it. Two, it's actually surprisingly good in some fights, which never occurred to me because you think of it as like a joke weapon. But then on the other hand, a stun gun against psychos, like that's literally what it's designed for. So go use it on like a Food Court Carlito. It's surprisingly effective. Cool, another easy scoop. It seemed that despite him being slower and despite him constantly taking damage, I'm guessing as part of balancing this, the zombies just ignored that guy. Like he was constantly just walking through him and doing nothing about it. It was really easy. Honestly, the worst part about that scoop was just the fact that you had to wait for him to walk to you each time. Okay, we got some more. Makes sense, it's the cult. Again, I thought this was actually a secret scoop. But yeah, it's a secret mission. So for the first time in this game, this is actually opened up. I don't think I could have gone in here at any point. So I want to actually look around. Something that I don't know if I mentioned is you actually have a high chance of getting weapons and stuff from these trash cans, kind of like you do in the main game, but I think it's actually meant to be a useful thing, that you should knock and break anything you could find like that, so you can get healing items or more bullets or what have you. And I think that's probably why I'm so low on food and ammo, is because I don't break every single trash can I see. This is actually going to be kind of intimidating because normally this fight is very easy in the original game. But in this game, I don't know, because I can't really turn as fast, and honestly, I can't do it by, like, sledgehammer cheese. So I'm kind of glad that they're going to be putting these pizzas out here for me to grab. Although I'm guessing that might just be a sign that it's that much harder. But, on the other hand, I do now have 2 different healing drinks. Not only do they heal me, they also give me more health. So that's pretty awesome. And a battle axe. So please don't gas me. I was debating whether or not I should show off. Oh, hell yeah. That'll work. If I should show off what happens when you get gas, but I really don't want to, and they've been so timid about using it. So let me see if I even get... How many of these guys? Oh, wow. This is surprisingly accurate to the first game. Can I still do the giant swing? I don't quite know what triggers it. It's like I need to have them stunned, but that would have been a perfect time if I could have gotten that one off. Come on. Come on, I just need a... There we go. Awesome, I poised through that too. So I don't even know if I can go in these other theaters, can I? Awesome, I actually expected these to be their own like little loading screens. There's no point of going in these. There's no point of going in there anyway. I always feel like this area was made for 7 Day Survivor, because that seems to be their only use, is to go in there, find some food, hide in any of them. Really, I have no basis for what he's going to be like. I assume he's going to be like in the main game. So I guess just run up and hit him. Oh, okay. I mean, I know he's easy in the main game, especially if you use, like, the sledgehammer. This is just straight up disappointing. I think maybe I just got lucky in getting the battle axe. Oh. Okay. I think I can still damage you when you're on the ground. Oh, now his true colors come out, and the fact that he has a lot of health. I feel like if I used up my entire battle axe, it would have done more damage. Okay. Well, I was scared there for a second. Like, my emotions were all over the place. Like, at first I was like, oh god, what's it gonna be? Then, oh god, okay, it's gonna be easy. He's just gonna stand there. And then I lost my battle axe. Then, oh man, maybe it's gonna be really hard again. And then, oh, okay, that fights it. I don't know what to say. He's a really easy fight, which is too bad because he has such a cool basis behind him, like lead up, and you really do get scared of the cult members. Okay. Speaking of being scared. Come on, just pop all these guys. I wish I could say I was better at getting headshots after playing this game this much. What hit me? I do have an issue in this game where sometimes I just take damage and I don't really know what from. And usually it's because there's like a zombie at my feet and he's punching me or something. Oh, this is bad. I think they can still throw their white powder on you. I don't think they're supposed to because you already defeated their leader and they're kind of meant to start leaving. Oh god, look. What an asshole. Come on. I don't think they do this in the main game where they just start killing them. That guy's gonna have to be healed right off the bat. Should probably just pick that up. Yeah. Can I take the sword? There we go. I don't know if this is specific to this game, but they seem to have actually a better stab animation in Chop Till You Drop. Especially if they come from behind you. This is harder than the boss fight. If they come behind you, they do this like weird like backstab, you know, it's kind of cool. Okay, what's left? You? Holy shit. I don't think there's that many in the main game. Come on. I just need to reload my gun. Getting back might be kind of an issue. Okay. Come on, die. There we go. So now I guess that's it. And then I can heal these guys. I get the point of having you untie them. It's very cinematic and interesting. Can I not? Come on. Come on. Probably even her, you probably actually have to go get her. Because in the main game, you just have to know she's there. Come on. Yeah. Wait, what? Okay, I was gonna ask kind of what the point of this in this game was. But clearly, since I have to go in two groups, the idea is that they hide here. Okay. That's something. It's going to be a bitch going back and forth here. Actually, I'll just use my juice. So hopefully it's still, like, cleared out up there. There might still be some people, or at least hopefully some zombies instead of the cult members. They should be gone by now. So I'm probably just going to cut out most of this, because it's going to be a lot of running back and forth, and pretty easy, I'm guessing, just very long. I guess there are still cult members because I'm not actually done with this scoop yet, am I? And honestly, this game might treat these guys as differently. Because in the normal Dead Rising, you only had zombies and then you had the cult members. You know, like the cult members were unique and they're this mini psycho. But in this game, they have all kinds of these random little enemies that aren't normal zombies. So I guess, in a way, it kind of makes more sense here if they just left them in, if they kept occurring. Or it's like, yeah, maybe they're there after the end of the scoop, but they very quickly just fall off. Okay, this is interesting. So I guess they're holding off and actually ending the scoop until I get those other group. Interesting. So I think right now, even though I'm here and in theory they're saved, I don't think they'll actually show up in these little safe house rooms just because I haven't officially saved them. And I can talk about that. I haven't actually gone into the safe house rooms to show off that I have all these survivors. Basically just because it's a pain. Like, each individual survivor room is its own loading screen. Although, One of my favorite things about Dead Rising 1 that you rarely get to see, because it only happens when you do your Saint run-throughs and save like 50 people, but all the survivors have this really weird AI. It's like they coded this emotion system into them. So like they'll get angry, frustrated, they'll want to get revenge. And normally that makes total sense around Frank. Like, oh, you shoot him in the face, they might come up and punch you. Makes it feel realistic. Stuff like that. But what's weird is, I guess Frank is no different than any other survivor. So they will do that to each other. And they just kind of like overlap. It's hilarious. You open up all the doors in the safe room and you just let them go, like almost people watch. And they'll have like personalities, like one guy will go hide under the stairs. Or I had one case where it's one of those twin sisters that for whatever reason just decided that she hated the guy from the In the Closet scoop. And he just kept running away, and she would come up, find him, and just shove him to the ground repeatedly until he got out. Then he'd move, and then he'd try and hide, and she'd just keep pushing him. And it wasn't scripted. I think what happened is it just tried to spawn too many people in that blue room. So she was basically spawning inside of him, and so she would get shoved, because the game doesn't want to spawn NPCs on top of each other. Well, the shove counts as an attack, so she thought that he was attacking her, so she got like pissed, and then that's how that happened. But it wasn't reciprocal, so he never wanted to hit her back. It was super weird, but it's so much fun. Like, I would love to do a time lapse, if I could, of just that happening. More cultists. At this point, one of the benefits of this being such a low fidelity game is I can kind of abuse like the loading screens. So, can I get... So like, in theory, I'm guessing, unless it knows to respawn them, I can just walk around these guys, and they'll probably be gone by the time I get back. Although, for some reason, they want to spawn more of them than what's in the actual fight, and I think it's kind of backwards. Like, I guess he was meant to be a pretty easy fight. He's an old dude. And then you're going to have trouble on the way back escorting was the idea. Because otherwise, what was the point? Shell Jones. See, one of the reasons she's hidden is she actually has a hidden scoop available with her. So if you find her and you know to get her and get her back, she'll call you on day 3 and all you have to do is like take photos of her. It's actually kind of a really silly part of the game. But in this, I can't imagine it has any point. So, oh well, I guess she's just an extra survivor. Come on. Did you really have to blow up? Don't know what they were getting at there, but... Really, I found the shotgun does not have as much damage as you'd think. Like, you'd think, oh, shotgun, video game. It's a power weapon, highest damage dealer, that kind of thing. But really, its main benefit is just this knockdown. Like, a lot of times I just pull it out for that reason, and it's the only reason I keep it on my bar. Because it's not a good weapon. Like, I believe 2 shots from my actual, like, little pistol here does far more damage. It's just the fact that, oh, I can run up and knock them all down. Or like over here, I can actually just hit so many of them. Although, let's try a Molotov. Okay. I'm not even getting that close. Come on. I also don't quite know how this works. Like, I expect that's supposed to mean damage over time, but I don't think it behaves that way. Although, to be fair, I don't really remember how Molotovs work in Dead Rising 1 anyway. I'm pretty sure they're just a queen that just works on survivors. I'm pretty sure that's how it's coded. Come on, are they stuck? Come on. They're probably in the main theater. Or I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't actually even get out of the room itself. Where are you?
Follow me! Come on! Follow me! Follow me!
Says she's in front of me.
Come on!
It's like, but she's taking damage.
Come on! Come on! Follow me!
See, there's one, there's Cheryl. This maze is terrible.
Come on! Follow me! Come on! Come on!
Maybe I passed her? Or, god damn it, oh, these guys are back. Okay, she was there. May have fucked up. Oh, that's cool, they crawl. I don't think that's part of the main game. I mean, it's reused zombie animation, but it's kind of cool, since they do have that aspect where they actually rush at you with dynamite. That's probably what I was taking damage from that I didn't realize.
Come on, follow me.
So let me guess, is Cheryl stuck now?
Come on.
God
Follow
damn.
me. Come on.
2.
Follow me.
We have 3.
Follow me.
God damn it, Cheryl. Okay, she's around here somewhere. There you are. I should open this door. There's at least one survivor after you kill Cliff, who is totally stupid. And if you don't open up both doors in a very specific way, he just permanently runs into a wall. I don't know what the reason is, but those 3 survivors you get from Cliff are the worst survivors in my opinion. Or like, they're the only ones I actually consider to be broken. Like, Aaron is designed to be hard, that's fine. But for some reason, like, those 3, like Barbara especially, there's that one dude in the blue shirt, he's annoying and he is glitchy, but once you get out of the room, he's fine. And then Barbara's just like straight up glitchy. Although she has the unique ability where I guess she's the only female survivor that can hold heavy items, which I guess is a thing. If you can't give heavy items to female survivors. It's something that's never talked about anywhere in the game. It's just a thing. But she can, so you can give her like a mini chainsaw or a sledgehammer and stuff like that. And it wasn't until I did runs, I think recently, like, I don't know if they're on the channel, I think they're over on for my streaming, that I had never seen a survivor crawl. Like, I've seen them gone down and they might crawl a couple inches, but there's one survivor in that little group, whatever it's called, from Saving Cliff, who, if he goes down and crawls, he basically will not get back up for the rest of the scoop. Or at least until you transition. So luckily you have this saving grace of you can push him. So I had to do that entire rest of that scoop, like just walking behind him, pushing him with my legs. It was eye-opening. Don't want to do it again, but it was kind of cool, and I think it's neat that like stuff like that's in the game. Because I think one thing I suffer from personally when I play Dead Rising is it has all this variance that can happen based off survivors and where zombies spawn and what weapons you have. But I don't see it because I play the game the same way every time. And I think that's true for a lot of things in the game. Like, one of the reasons I actually really like the Frank the Pimp achievement is because it makes you take survivors you would normally never take. It makes you take survivors into places they normally would never go. Like the twin sisters over in Paradise Plaza that you save. For that, you'll probably get them for that achievement. And you have to drag them basically away from the safe room. And you can tell their AI isn't really cut out for that. So it's kind of cool. It's like a different way of seeing things. Now, for the most part, they're the same, but it's kind of cool. It's something I wish there was more of in the game, because there's a lot of stuff that just doesn't get used nearly as much as it should. Like, one of the things I think of is the cars. The cars can actually escort people. Cars can actually hold people in them. And there's a car underneath Paradise Plaza that I think can hold 3 or 4 people. So it's like, why was this coded and then put there if there's no use? Like, there's no survivors you escort from the safe house. There's Isabella, but you're following her. So, what's the deal there? Obviously, it seems like there was some intention. Because they could have just put any car, or they just didn't have to make it so you could escort people. It makes me wonder if there was like a different direction they wanted to take the game, or... I always thought that Carlito's hideout was meant to be more than what it is. Like, I got the impression that maybe there was meant to be a fast travel station there, where you could take the vents to other areas of the mall, and then that would lead to a second half of the game. So maybe it was something like Overtime Mode was meant to be a little more ambitious, and then for time constraints they ended up just doing a fetch quest. That's kind of the impression that I get. I'm not very clear on how far these bullets travel, because your reticule doesn't turn red after a certain distance, but it does seem to keep going. Awesome, got the rest of them. That's a funny line. Does he say that in the main game? Maybe it's just because he's not the guy who shows up if you save all of them. I think there must be little quotes from these survivors that I've never seen, just because I always rescue like that rooftop couple together. So I'll probably never hear the guy's quote, because How would the other chick die unless you kill her? Shout out to Dead Rising Chop Drop for actually fixing the issue of survivors climbing up on that goddamn little platform. Because you can transition from a wider area in this game.